Hi, thanks everyone for coming. I will just be very brief. We are so excited on this development today and to have leaders in the LGBTQIA+ community here and city leaders to talk about this incredible development. Here is the Mayor of Kansas City, Quentin Lucas.
I am excited, indeed thrilled today, to recognize not just that Kansas City is an accepting city, but the important work and progress that we have seen over recent years. In this chamber decades ago, Kansas City led the region in fighting for a non-discrimination ordinance. That took hours and hours of work from people who gave years to struggle for the rights of all. And that work has continued each and every day among our city staff, the people of Kansas City, our city council, the mayor's office, and so many who are committed to making sure that no matter the politics near us, whether in Jefferson City or Topeka, Washington, D.C., or beyond, Kansas City will always stand for the rights of everyone. Kansas City will always welcome everyone. And more than anything, we will lead to tell everyone that who you are, whom you love, you are always welcome in Kansas City, Missouri. A few things I want to note, and I'll get out of the way for the very important people. I will note as well, I'm excited to have my state senator, Greg Razor, who does outstanding work for us each and every day. So we're proud to have received a perfect score on the Human Rights Campaign's Municipal Equality Index for the second year in a row. Our score shows that we exceeded in areas including non-discrimination laws, municipal services, and leadership on LGBTQ equality. While this recognition shows our incredible work, we're making sure we continue to keep our LGBT community safe, welcome, and respected. As I noted before, 1993, Kansas City enacted non-discrimination protections for the LGBTQ community. In 2008, these protections were updated to recognize gender identity, a domestic partner registry, health, and other benefits for domestic partners. And the city has an LGBTQ+ employee resource group called KC Proud, which supports our staff, educates city leaders, and partners with volunteer organizations all year long. We also have created our first LGBTQ commission, the first in the state of Missouri, to further empower the LGBTQ community and a seat at the table in local government. And of course, today I wanted to make sure that we acknowledge World AIDS Day, which is on December 1st. It's important to continue our fight against HIV stigma and discrimination, and to commemorate those who have died from an AIDS-related illness. I'm always proud to be the mayor of Kansas City, but particularly in times like this, when I get to stand with people who work each day to make sure people's lives can be better, who work each day to make sure people are welcome. And in a week where we saw progress in Washington, but some in Missouri who wanted to stand against said progress, I'm proud to stand with folks like State Senator Razor, like leaders from our LGBTQ Commission, like Andrea Dortch at CREO, like so many of all of you, who continue to say that we will lead to make sure that Kansas City and Missouri are accepting places so long as we have a voice, so long as we have some influence in making lives better for folks. With that, I want to introduce Andrea Dortch, the director of our Civil Rights and Equal Opportunity Department, to share a few words. Andrea.
Thank you again for welcoming us on this World AIDS Day. I want to call attention to 42% of all new cases are reported in the African American community, compounding what we already know to be an endemic here in Kansas City, Missouri, also in the world. We want to make sure that individuals understand what is available to them on this World AIDS Day, that we have free health testing to eliminate the stigma of having to deal with any of the in-person testing, that you may go into the health department and get free take-home tests to know your status, to be able to get those suppression drugs. The science community has come a long way in the long years since 1980s. We have made great strides in homelessness to allow individuals that have been affected by AIDS or that are in the LGBT community to be able to have those barriers removed by enforcing the laws. But we also have opportunities that we present to individuals on a regular basis that such as our business registry for those who want to start new businesses, those who have established businesses, to be a part of our communities. We also have heterosexual individuals, women in our community that also are affected. And we have a new ordinance that we will be presenting that will continue to assist individuals that are suffering from HIV and AIDS to not be discriminated based on their source of income. So we hope and we encourage each person that understands these particular issues in the civil rights arena that they come to our aid and to our support, that as we put forth legislation that you all truly understand that we are an inclusive city, that we are a non-discriminatory city, and we seek rights for all of our humans in this city. We also want to take the time to promote June 26th as World Testing Day. So in addition to today, we want to make sure that any individual that may not know their status or may be in a highly affected group, particularly in the African American community and the LGBTQ community, that we also have a day of testing where you can know your status and get those resources. And the more that you get that suppression, you equals you. That means if you know, then you can actually prevent others from being infected. And that's all that I have for today. I'm going to introduce Michael Shuckman, who is the leader of our KC Proud and has assisted our department with getting more word out to our constituents that are in the city that are LGBTQ. Michael.
All right, good morning, everybody. The members of KC Proud, the employee resource group for LGBTQIA employees and our allies, welcomes everyone to City Hall to mark World AIDS Day 2022. We're especially proud to have our Mayor Quentin Lucas, Director Dortch, Senator Razor, the LGBT Commission of Kansas City, and the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence joining us. May 15th, 1969. This may seem like an unexceptional day to most Americans, and for many it might be, but this marks an important day in the history of HIV/AIDS in North America. On that day, Robert Rayford, a 16-year-old African-American boy from St. Louis, Missouri, died. Here's an excerpt from the Washington Post article in 2019 detailing the account of Mr. Rayford. Quote, "He was weak and emaciated, rife with stubborn infections and riddled with rare cancerous lesions known as Kaposi sarcoma. It would be more than a decade before doctors started seeing similar cases among gay men in New York and California. In 1982, with the number of sick surging, the disease got a name, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. The AIDS epidemic had begun." End quote. Doctors in the 1980s were only able to connect the dots and surmise something larger was going on because blood samples preserved from the early victims like Mr. Rayford, because of preservation from Mr. Rayford. Since those early days, many communities, especially the LGBTQ community, have suffered through several decades that have been difficult. There's been loss, there's been grief, stigmatization, and fear. I cannot begin to imagine what those early days would have been like to live through, but as a gay man, I am eternally grateful to those who we have lost and those who have continued the good fight despite impossible barriers. The good news is I hope that hope has always remained. And today, hope is brighter than ever as we close in on the fight in HIV/AIDS. New therapies have made undetectable and untransmittable a reality. Patients are now able to lead full, healthy lives. And as a result of renewed vaccine interest in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, science is closing in finally on a vaccine to stop HIV/AIDS once and for all. I encourage you all to mark World AIDS Day with reflection and a renewed hope for the future and to look forward to a day when this virus no longer plagues our planet. Please visit our memorial that we have set up in the lobby here in City Hall and leave a remembrance card for anyone we may have lost or that you might know, or just the community in general. And thank you all for being here. And next, Senator Razor.
That was a great introduction. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here and for allowing me to speak today. I'm Senator Greg Razor. It was 41 years ago that the Centers for Disease Control first announced to the world that a new disease was upon us. Gay men in New York and San Francisco and Los Angeles were coming down with rare cancers, rare pneumonias. It didn't have a name. It got a name: gay cancer, gay pneumonia, or GRID, gay-related immune deficiency. As Michael just said, it was 1982 that they realized this wasn't a gay disease, and it needed a proper name. And the name that it was given was AIDS. In 1984, the virus was found, and in 1987, President Ronald Reagan said it out loud for the first time. Thousands and thousands of Americans died of indifference. Over 40 million around the world have died of this disease. But like so many communities right here in Kansas City, our community stepped up and led and started forming AIDS service organizations. Those organizations still exist today. Every year, we gather for AIDS Walk, and we raise money for those organizations. So I encourage everyone to go out and support them and the good work that they do. The science behind this disease has come so far, from not knowing what it was to today. We don't need a vaccine to rid us of HIV. No longer are people dying of HIV or AIDS, they're living with HIV. If every person knew their status and was on medication, you will get to an undetectable viral load, which means you cannot transmit the virus, even though you have it. And if everyone who was susceptible was on PrEP, then there's no way to ever pass the virus. So when you hear someone say an AIDS-free generation, that's what they mean. Science has come a long way. But I think it's important that we remember the thousands of Kansas Citians that were lost in the 1980s, the 90s, and the men and women, gay, straight, the whole community that came together to support them at that hour of need. Today in Jefferson City is the first day that we filed legislation for next year, and unfortunately, I will have to, for I believe it's the 23rd or 4th consecutive year, introduce the Missouri Non-Discrimination Act, which simply says in Missouri you can't be fired from your job, evicted from an apartment, or denied public services because you are or someone thinks you might be LGBT. The state of Missouri still refuses to say that out loud. But we have things to be proud of in Kansas City. Kansas City was a leader in 1993. We're a leader today. A 100% index. That's something to take a lot of pride in. And not only this index, but think about where our city is. We have invested in ourselves for 20 years now. We see it with the Sprint Center, the T-Mobile Center, and the Power and Light District. We see it with the ever-expanding streetcar and the soon-to-be-open brand-new airport. But infrastructure is also the people of Kansas City. And something that I'd like to remark on all the time is in this city, you can move here and become a Kansas Citian. Regardless of where you're from originally, what country you come from, immigrants are welcome here. Regardless of the color of your skin, you are welcome here. That is how a gay kid from a cotton field in the Boot Hill of Missouri became the senator from Kansas City. I'm very proud to be a Kansas City, and I'm very proud to be here today. Thank you all very much.
So I want to, first start off by saying thank you to everyone who's here. I want to thank, the mayor, city council, the LGBT resource group, and the many people who put this ceremony together. My name is Justice Horn. I'm the vice chair of the LGBT Commission. I use he/him pronouns. And, I first want to thank, the city and the many people who applied and competed for us to earn this perfect 100% score on the Municipal Equality Index from the Human Rights Campaign. December 1st also marks World AIDS Day here in Kansas City, and if y'all know me, y'all know I'm an activist, so I do want to read something I got from the Gay and Lesbian Mid-America Archives that is housed at the Labuddy Archives here at UMKC. So, the Kansas City chapter of the AIDS Coalition to Unleash Power was formed in September 1988 to promote AIDS awareness, treatments, and victims' rights through aggressive activism. Modeled after the national organization, ACT UP KC also focused their protests on several instances of job discrimination involving HIV employees. So I don't know if you can see this, but this is a protest poster from the 90s that says Target City Hall. And there's a Target on City Hall with the ACT UP logo. And why I bring this up is for us to be standing here today as LGBTQ individuals, as members from a minority group, when there were so many people who fought, who protest to just be in these halls, to be in this space and to be on this floor, saying that our communities here, we're not going anywhere and that this is an issue that affects us. So, today I really want to instill in all of you that I hope we hold space for those who came before us, for those who did the work, and for those who died alone. I really hope that you all research the AIDS epidemic, and for a lot of gay men who had to pass by themselves in silence, yearning for just touch, for another individual. It is an aggressive, lonely disease that plagued a lot of people here in this community. And that just breaks my heart, and I hope that we remember that, we've moved forward so fast from the 80s and the 90s, but that we're here on the shoulders and the sacrifice of those who came before us. So let us remember that, and, I really want to commend Director Dortch for, moving forward with an ordinance that specifically, combats and gets at the fact of discrimination against AIDS and HIV individuals, because that's exactly why they were protesting. That's exactly why they were showing up and asking their city government to acknowledge them, to help them, and to save them. And at the time, we failed them as a government. So I will leave you with that thoughts. I thank everyone for being here. I thank you for holding space and allowing us to honor and move forward while also remembering those. And please go down to the first floor to give your respect to those we've lost here locally. Thank you.
My name is Katrina Foster, and I'm here representing Councilwoman Andrea Boo's office. She wished that she could be here, but she is out until next week. Wanted to just take a moment to thank our partners. I see many from the LGBTQ Commission here. We had actually had Justice reach out to us about AIDS Day. I also had Casey Proud reach out to us. It's been great to have these kinds of partnerships. One thing I did want to highlight is that on the 22nd floor and on the 26th floor, there is a rendering of an artist that actually was in hospice, helped with hospice care with AIDS patients. And I don't have his name on me. I apologize, I wasn't planning on being up here, but it's out there in the lobby. And his pictures depict people, men bravely dying alone in their apartments. And that is those arts in partnership with Arts KC. It's on the 22nd floor, which is City Council floor, and it's right out here on the lobby. I also would encourage you to visit downstairs. I'm thankful that you guys took the time to do the memorial. I have my remembrance ready. And we have a late addition that I get the honor. One of the partners that Councilwoman Boo works with a lot is Councilman Bunch's office. And so if you could come, if you would like to come and greet the crowd and say a few words. And Councilman Parkshaw.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. I just want to make sure that always present and here as a lawmaker in this city to make sure that Kansas City continues to be a place that's welcoming and inviting for everyone, regardless of race or sexual orientation or sexual identity, gender identity. So just want to do my small part in being an ally and being in a position that I'm in, and very fortunate to be privileged to be a leader in the city. So I'm humbled by the rating that we recently got, but that's not enough. We need to make sure that people actually do truly feel welcome from members of the LGBTQ community. So thank you all for being here, and always feel free to reach out to me and express how we can continue to do better. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. And I am also humbled to be here and excited about the rating as well. As a long-term healthcare executive and one who has sat by AIDS patients, sat with AIDS patients and their families as they have taken their last breath, as a hospice worker, definitely World AIDS Day is a significant day to recognize those who have gone on before us and those who may be struggling with it today. And I want to just offer my condolences to those who have gone on before us, including, I have some family members as well, and want to use this as an opportunity to remember my cousin Rob, just have to say that. But also for those families, like I said, who are struggling with that, I know there are many hospice agencies and companies that are working in this every day. And as a council person, as a policymaker, it's important to me to ensure that we as a city are there for those individuals, for all individuals, within our community that are struggling, that are having issues within the community, and ensuring that we are welcoming to all individuals, no matter who they stand for, who they love, what they do. Kansas City needs to be a community that is welcoming, and so I'm honored to be here today and honored to continue to serve. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. So just to close, we have a special guest. We're going to have a blessing from Novice Sister Morgan and Agin from the City of Fountain Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence.
Could I steal that from you? Oh, thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Novice Sister Morgan, and again, it's okay, though. It was really good. I really liked it. It's the French pronunciation, I think. From the City of Fountain Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, I'm honored to stand before you today, dearest ladies and gentlethems, to offer a blessing in commemoration and celebration of World AIDS Day 2022. We commemorate those we've lost to this disease. We recognize and acknowledge the stigma that follows our family of survivors and thrivers living each day with HIV/AIDS. We celebrate the strength, the power, the resilience, the bravery, the passion, and sheer fabulosity of each and every human fighting to end that stigma, fighting for accessible health care, fighting for humanity, fighting every day to end the existence of AIDS. This year's theme is Rock the Ribbon. And what a glorious notion, what a fantastic and uplifting message to all of us. Why do we rock the ribbon? We walk the ribbon in commemoration, in celebration, to show that there is more to do. We rock the ribbon to ensure better education on the HIV/AIDS virus. We rock the ribbon to fight the stigma. We rock the ribbon to fight for equal rights and to end new transmission of this virus. We rock the ribbon for better health care for all humans living with HIV/AIDS. We rock the ribbon to ensure that you equals you, undetectable equals untransmittable. We rock the ribbon to unify our voices as one, elevating into a gorgeous and undeniable chorus, saying loudly and proudly for all ears to hear, we are not alone. We are part of the solution. May we be blessed in our endeavors to combat HIV/AIDS. May we be blessed in our efforts to assist our families and friends every day in their fight. May we always remember that we are stronger when we work together. As Tony Kushner, the Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright, said in his seminal work, Angels in America, the world only spins forward. May we continue. Sorry. May we continue to spin forward. May we always have the courage and love to rock our ribbons today and all days forward. And this is where we do something a little bit together. Repeat after me. Amen. Amen. All women. All women. All trans folk. All trans folk. All non-binary beauties. All non-binary beauties. And all the glittery beings. And all the glittery beings. Thank you.